webinar. So I welcome Megan. She's the program manager for NZITE. And I welcome Adam Provo. So he's the National Clinical Placement Manager for NZITE College. We have Rohit Reddy. She's our New Zealand Immigration Advisor. And Rincy Lawrence. She's our New Zealand Business Manager. And we have our founder and CEO of Tutel, Mr. Christopher Benison, also with us today. So I think this webinar will give more insights on NZITE offline CAP program, which we will be conducting in Kerala and GCC. So over to you, Christopher. Yes.
Thank you, Aggie. Thank you for your great introduction. First of all, kia ora, welcome everyone to this wonderful webinar. I could say it should be a wonderful in the sense in all aspects. Like we have great people over here, as Aggie mentioned. We have Megan, Adam, and Rohit and Brinzi over here. So all why we are here, there's a big question. So why we are here, that is all about our New Zealand nursing process updates. That is all about the CAP program. So as you all are aware, CAP is going to be finished by end of 2025 June. Already now the changes, the transition from CAP to the OSCE is ongoing. So meantime, as you all are aware, like nurses are struggling to cap seats, but from NZITE college, they put a lot of effort, not only for securing a seat, but for providing a quality education. That I would like to say, because I'm the one who witnessed for our candidates' happiness. I got the opportunity to visit NZITE in several occasions, especially when the candidates are, enrolling. I was there meeting with our candidates and the faculty. The result, the end result was absolutely happy, as you had seen, like Janet Pinto was here. She got the opportunity to join this webinar, but we have other few candidates, like nurses who done the CAP program from NZITE. So their feedback makes me think about NZITE, because we already conducted different groups of CAP programs, nearly 30 plus candidates in different batches. Recently they had a CAP um, graduation ceremony they conducted for our candidates. Even in that ceremony, I got the opportunity to meet Megan and other faculties as well. So the feedback from our, especially from our candidates and other candidates who came from different part of the globe, they give a wonderful feedback about the education. Not only with the education, because NZIT focusing for the quality education, same time where they are sending their students or the nurses for the clinical placement. That really makes a lot of difference, because as you all are very much aware, like the CAP, the long back CAP program is here. Different providers are the, but the providers, they are sending the students for the clinical placement in the same location for a long time. But when it is comes to NZIT, the best part what I had seen is like they are sending the students to the new areas or the health sectors. So that is makes a lot of difference, like creating a new opportunity to our nurses. That's a feedback I received from my students. Initially, even some certain points, we are also getting to this to arrange the accommodation and everything. But the end result, like the candidates, the nurses were saying, like, we got very good clinical placement along with the other students as well. And final results, anyhow, Janet is here. She can share her experience with NZIT. And the faculties, especially educators. Then we have Adam here, and I still remember Nick. He is the one who got an opportunity to communicate with NZITE. Every areas a quality of education, then taking care of the nurses, preparing them for the CVs preparations, and giving small trainings like first aid and other programs. That makes a lot of changes in our nurses. So here, as I mentioned, why we are here, we need to extend our opportunities to our international qualified nurses by giving a brief idea about how NZIT can help you with your theory and your practical, um, sessions. Okay, so we are very privileged to be here with everyone. Then again, I'm so thankful to be a part of this, especially with the entire Tutel team. Is so thankful and proud to be a part of this webinar. And we have nearly 80 participants are here, but there are more nurses are watching from the different platforms. So yeah, let's begin with a great uh, success stories. So yeah, over to Aggie. Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining. So we will start our sessions with giving a brief idea about our NZIT CAP programs that going to be conducted in Kerala and other part of the globe. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, hi. Yes, Megan. Hello. Hi, Megan.
Yes, Aggie, I'm here. Yeah.
Yes, over to you, Megan.
Yeah, sure. So it still says sharing is not turned on. If you can assist, please.
Yes, 1 second.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, kia ora, everyone. My name is Megan, and I'm the program manager for NZIT. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. I think it is over there. Morning or afternoon. It's evening here. It's about 7 p.m. But yeah, thank you all for joining. We have a short presentation that we would like to share with you to make sure you all understand our program and what it entails. But firstly, before we begin, I would just like to introduce Adam. He's our National Clinical Placement Manager. Adam?
Kia ora koutou katoa. Yep, as Megan says, my name's Adam. My main role as the National Clinical Placement Manager is to organise and basically work in the background to ensure that the clinical placement aspects of the CAP course at NZITE run smoothly. As Christopher mentioned in his introduction there, and thank you very much, Christopher, great introduction, really appreciate that. We provide some really strong support during clinical placements, during the duration of the 4 weeks in your clinical practicum here in New Zealand. And we like to think that it's a particular point of difference with some of the clinical providers of the CAP program, that we provide that wraparound support. So we like to make sure our learners who are out there are enjoying their clinical placements, have got that support, that go-to person to ensure that any concerns or any questions that they need to clarify, they've got somebody there that are able to reach out to during their clinical placement experience. So yeah, as Megan says, we've got a short presentation just to give you a bit of an overview of the program that we run here at NZITE. And, obviously, if there's any questions or further questions, I'm sure we'll be able to get those to us, either via Christopher or Rincy there. So I'm sure we'll be able to answer any questions that you may have at the end of the presentation. So what makes NZITE different? So as we've mentioned, or what we do is we have quite small intimate classes. So usually a maximum of 15 students per class. Usually makes for a really good learning environment. We find that having too many CAP students in a classroom can be, people can get lost in the numbers. So we like to think that having a fairly small classroom sizes is really good for the learning experience of our learners. Highly experienced clinical nurse educators. So NZITE have a number of clinical nurse educators that are employed specifically to come and do that support that I mentioned around your clinical placement. So they generally visit usually twice a week, visit the facility that you're doing your clinical placement in, and as I say, have a general conversation to ensure everything's going smoothly for you. Positive experimental learning style. So basically throughout, interwoven within our within our theory weeks, we've got some practical hands-on sessions that we do to ensure that you're ready to go for your clinical placement here in New Zealand, and just to give you a bit of confidence with some of the equipment that might be slightly different to what you're used to in your own nursing careers. Comprehensive integration and cultural competency. So New Zealand's very much a multicultural country. However, we do have quite a unique bicultural background as well, which we also go through within our theory weeks. Quite a unique situation here in New Zealand where we have Indigenous people and European people with a treaty. We do quite a substantial amount around Te Treaty and what that means here in New Zealand and what that looks like in a nursing context as well. During the 2 weeks of theory, as well as your 4 weeks of clinical placement, obviously we provide individual feedback, support and guidance throughout the programme. And as Christopher mentioned, job opportunities. So we like to ensure here at NZITE we provide you with the tools to be able to have the best opportunities to secure employment here in New Zealand. Clinical placements are happy to provide references for you going forward to apply for positions here in New Zealand. And we also provide opportunities to, I suppose, brush upon your CV writing and your cover letter writing to give you the best opportunity when you're looking for employment here in New Zealand. So that's a basic overview of our programme. I'll hand it over to Megan now to give you a little bit more detail in what we do. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Adam. Before our NZIT process begins, it starts with an interview. Now, this is just a short interview, 15 to 20 minutes, to get to know you a bit better and to ensure that we are committed for your success. So we're here basically to support you into getting your APC so you can work in New Zealand, or if you choose to go to Australia. We would then offer you a conditional offer letter that we would have some conditions that you would meet. And then basically our plan is to come to Kerala or Dubai to bring that theory to you over the 2-week period. There would be 2 parts to the course. So the first part is the theory, and that covers, as Adam already mentioned a bit earlier, which is you will learn the unique biculturalism of New Zealand. So we would cover the Treaty of Waitangi, Maori cultural concepts, and how to basically nurse in New Zealand and making sure that we uphold the different cultures that we have here in New Zealand. You would also, these are just a few topics that we cover in the 2-week theory. So we would cover the New Zealand health system. So making sure that you're well equipped before you go out onto your placement in terms of how the primary healthcare system works, AIDS residential care. So my understanding is a lot of the nurses that we do have in the past come from hospital. So our job is to ensure that when you do go to primary healthcare and aged residential care settings, that you're well equipped into how they work and how they run, which might be a little bit different to what you're used to. We would also talk about the Ministry of Health strategies, as well as making sure that you understand the Nursing Council New Zealand competencies. So in order for you to obtain your APC, we would support you in making sure that you understand the competencies that you would need to meet in order to receive your APC to work in New Zealand. Other topics that we cover is delirium, depression, healthy aging, and palliative care. So again, making sure that you're well equipped before you go out into placement. And lastly, we believe reflective practice and critical thinking is really key in our program, making sure, we as nurses need to be able and need to be equipped to reflect on our practice in order to improve our practice going forward, because it's all about patient safety and quality improvement. So how do we assess our students? The first part, so when we do have our 2-week theory, you would have one exam, but that's in 2 parts. So the first part is an MCQ short answer question, and you would need 70% and above to pass this. And within this exam, there would also be a drug dose calculation, which is part 2 of the exam. And the drug dose calculation, you would need 100% to pass. Now, please don't be scared about the 100% to pass. The only reason why it's there is because, as you know, we need to ensure that we as nurses are safe before we administer any medication. And we would hope to get it right, 100% of the time. So that's why it is 100% to pass. Once you do pass the exam, which is covered in the 2-week theory, when you do come to New Zealand for your placement, you would have 2 assessments. The first assessment is a case study. So this is a reflection essay, and this would just be a pass or not pass criteria. And then lastly, in order to get your APC, so your annual practicing certificate, you would need to complete a competency assessment form. So this is again covered in placement, and we would give you all the tools that you need during your theory to make sure that you're well equipped in order to understand the competencies, making sure that you're safe in your practice, and making sure that you are supported by our CNEs, which is our clinical nurse educators, while you're on placement as well. Anything to add, Adam?
No, Megan, I think you covered that really well. As you mentioned, the competence assessment form is the key document really for internationally qualified nurses to gain registration in New Zealand. You have over the course of the 4-week placement to be able to complete that competency form. But again, like Megan says, don't stress. We have our clinical nurse educators that are experienced in supporting internationally qualified nurses to look at the correct type of evidence that we need you to submit in that form. So that's where that support that we are quite particular about is there to help and support you get through the program.
Perfect. Thanks, Adam. And sorry, I did forget to mention. So once you do complete placement and your CNEs ensure that you're safe and you're competent and you have completed that competency assessment form, we then collate all the documents that Nursing Council would need we would then send it to Nursing Council, and in order for you to get your APC, your annual practice and certificate, so you can practice as a registered nurse once you do pass that. Thanks, Adam. Over to you.
Thanks, Megan. Okay, so it's disappeared.
Sorry.
That's all right.
One sec. Screening is not. Sorry, everyone. Sharing is not turned on. If anyone can assist, please. Okay, where are we?
Fantastic. Brilliant. Great work. Okay, clinical placement. So as we mentioned, there is a 4-week clinical placement that will be organised for you. We intend to have these clinical placement in blocks. So again, we will have a certain amount of placements available in certain blocks throughout the first 6 months of 2025. What we intend to do when you first come into New Zealand is look at recapping a little bit of theory that we covered while we were overseas with you doing your 2-week theory. We'll also arrange for you to complete a CPR training and also take you into our simulation labs. We have 2 sites. We have a site in Auckland and also a site in Tauranga. And I'll explain more about those 2 sites in a second and where they are. But we have sites set up and campuses set up where we're able to bring you in for a few days before your clinical placement starts, just to give you a bit of a hands-on demonstration within the simulation labs, either in Auckland or Tauranga. Placements are 4 weeks long, 5 days per week. And they're in, and as again, what Christopher was mentioning, in reputable healthcare facilities around the regions of Auckland, Hamilton, Rotorua, Tauranga, and also some regional and rural areas as well. During your 4 weeks, you'll be working alongside a registered nurse and also obviously other healthcare professionals within the setting that you're placed in. Megan's already mentioned there that we use primarily 2 different types of areas of nursing practice here in New Zealand. So primary healthcare, which is generally a general practice or a GP practice. And we also use our aged residential care facilities here in New Zealand, which may be a slightly new concept to some of you out there. So, and again, what we try and do is demystify what they are and what kind of environments they are from a nursing aspect while we cover the theory components of the course. But it does pay just to have a bit of a research really and have a look around and see what those terms actually mean and what kind of nursing actually occurs within those establishments. But yeah, you'll be working alongside a registered nurse. The registered nurse is trained as what we call a clinical preceptor. So they should have an underpinning knowledge of understanding how to teach in a clinical setting and how to facilitate your learning. So, and we only choose facilities that have trained preceptors in their establishment. So you should encounter some good quality clinical teaching and facilitation while you're in your clinical placements. As I mentioned before, twice a week face-to-face. Oh, you lost the last line there, Megan. Twice, a bit quick on the draw. Twice a week face-to-face visits from our clinical nurse educators, just ensuring that constant support and making sure that you feel supported during your clinical placements. So yeah, I'll flick onto the map. So for you, those guys that aren't aware, New Zealand is in the very southern depths of the Pacific Ocean, and we have 2 islands. We're predominantly based on the North Island, which is essentially where most of the population of New Zealand actually lives. As Megan was just showing you there, Auckland is where Megan's based, and a few of our colleagues here in the panel. And we obviously have clinical placements arranged within the Auckland region. If we scroll down to Tauranga, so Tauranga here is just on the coast, and it may not look like it on a map, but that's a 2.5-hour drive from Auckland down to Tauranga. So, and as you can see with the yellow dots, there are some towns and around as you travel from Auckland to Tauranga. But it's a fairly sparse country, so probably not quite what you're used to from a populated home country like your own. So, but Tauranga is in an area or a region called Bay of Plenty, and that's where our second campus is based. So we have a campus in Auckland and a campus in Tauranga. Now, also what we have is clinical placements based in Hamilton. So Hamilton is between Auckland and Tauranga in an area or region called the Waikato, just where Megan's pointing out there. And we also have clinical placements based in Rotorua as well, which is about an hour away from Tauranga. So those are the general regions that we have our clinical placement opportunities. What we often advise, and sometimes during our interviews, is we try and get a bit of a feel for where you may have already established contacts here in New Zealand. Just helps us be able to plan the best clinical placement area and facility for you. So if you have the opportunity to be interviewed by Megan and the team, it'd be really great to know if you do have any friends, relatives, or people that you might be able to stay with, and the region of where they actually live, so that we can look to see where our clinical placements are based and see if we can make a good match for you. So we try and individualize as much as we can. And again, that's the bonus of having quite small groups, is that we can actually get to know our students really well, and also try and individualize your experience here at NZITE. All right, we'll flick on. So this is a very rough, it looks very higgledy-piggledy, but it's a very rough map here of Auckland. Now, Auckland is, Megan, you might correct me here, but it's certainly a population of over 1 million people, and growing as well. And this map here tries to highlight all the suburbs within Auckland. And it's quite a sprawling city, so it's not very built up, as it were. It's quite sprawling, so it spreads out over quite a wide geographical space. Now, if Megan can just point out Auckland International Airport down there. Yep. So that's where our international airport is, and just along from there, you'll see a little tag called Rainbow's End Theme Park. That's not within the theme park, but that's where our campus is based, just next door to that particular attraction. So it's fairly close to the international airport. The centre of town, or centre of the city of Auckland, you'll see Megan can just move the arrow up. So just in there, that's where the centre of Auckland is. And that's about 40-minute drive, Megan?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's quite, as I say, it's quite well spread out. So just to give you a bit of context as to what Auckland looks like, we'll go on. These are the two other regions that I spoke about. So just to give you a bit of a concept, and also good to write these names down, just so you can do a little bit of research around these areas, because this is predominantly where your clinical placements will be, either in Auckland or the Bay of Plenty, or in a region called the Waikato. So yeah, a really good idea to do a little bit of research around those areas. And as I said earlier, be good for us to know if you do have friends, relatives, whoever there may be, that you're happy to stay with, and we can look to see if we can organise a clinical placement in those areas. And that's just an overview. I think we've covered those areas quite nicely. Okay, so as we've mentioned, I think hopefully a familiar theme that should be coming out of what both Megan and Christopher and myself have been talking about. We do support our learners as much as we can, both in the theoretical and when they're on their clinical practicum experience. Really supportive environment at both campuses at NZITE. We have a specific student success team that are able there to support our students as well. We're also very adaptable and we try and make sure we gather as much feedback. So one of the things that we like to think that we like to improve our own service and our own teaching and our own ability to provide good support by doing lots of surveys. So, you know, your feedback and some of the feedback we've already heard today, just make sure that what we're doing is good, and what we're doing is a supportive way of introducing internationally qualified nurses into New Zealand. Already mentioned the twice weekly visits from our experienced CNEs. So we've got CNEs who've got 10, 20 years plus education experience in our team. So we've got some really high caliber nurses there who are, as I say, experienced educators in New Zealand. And again, as I mentioned, CV and cover letter workshops that we provide, just to give you, again, the tools to be as successful as you can in securing an employment opportunity here in New Zealand. Thanks.
Thanks, Adam. And then to finish off, I've got two success stories, sorry, excuse me, from past students. So this one is from one student who started in the July intake. So she says, while the coursework was challenging, I really appreciate the support I was given, exposure to Maori culture, and valuable insights gained into the local healthcare landscape. I am grateful for Future Skills Student Success Team support in helping with job applications and efforts to secure full-time work in New Zealand. With graduation now complete, the future looks bright, and I'm really optimistic about what lies ahead. So this success story shows you, while any coursework would be challenging, she actually does appreciate the support that was given throughout her time with us at NZITE. She also believes that exposure to Maori culture. So I think that's a benefit if you do choose to come to NZITE, is that we do have face-to-face in-class teaching, small classes to make sure that you get the best education that you can in order to succeed in New Zealand. As Adam and others have said, we have a Future Skills Student Success team who run workshops to support your writing your CVs and your cover letters. So the format that has been coming through from CAP students is actually very different to what recruitment agencies or employers would like to see here in New Zealand and Australia. So again, we support you in making sure that we support you in changing that to adapt your CV before you actually go hunting for a job. And I do have another success story. So this is actually Janet's success story, part of it. I believe she's with us online today. I think she'll share more with you shortly. She says, I chose NZITE because it offered the right pathway for my career goals. The program's blend of classroom learning and hands-on practicum matched my approach to learning and strong background in clinical settings. It helped me to adapt to New Zealand's healthcare standards. The support from NZIT staff has been invaluable, providing guidance and encouragement that helped me transition smoothly into the New Zealand healthcare environment. So again, self-explanatory, a beautiful sum up of what we have been saying, and this is actually words from Janet. So Janet's here today. I won't say more. You can hear from her shortly. Thank you. Thanks all for listening. I just had a slide for any questions, but I'll leave it over with Aggie or Rohit, and maybe we'll have questions at the end.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. Hi, team. You can post your queries or any questions if you may have, like on the chat box. We will answer.
I can see a question there. Would you like me to respond?
Yes, we have a question. What for the placement after completing the course?
So the placement, as I said earlier, would be we're all going to organise, or we've got start dates for a clinical placement. So what we're intending to do is provide our learners the opportunity to select a particular start date that suits them. And also which particular campus might suit them. Now, obviously there'll be smaller numbers, so it is a first come first serve kind of process. And it may be that if Auckland are full at a particular time you want to come, you might need to look at coming down to Tauranga to do your clinical placements there. So, but we'll be making those details available once we've got the dates sorted out. We've got the dates kind of in there ready, and we've already got clinical placements booked in and locked in for 2025. We're just looking at a process of how we introduce that to our learners.
So I'm sorry, and can I just add, so you would complete the theory in Kerala or Dubai first. Once you've passed the exam and you've completed Part A, enrollments for placement opportunities will begin from January till the end of May 2025. And as Adam said, there will be blocks that it's a first come, first serve basis, and we will release more information about placement area and how to book once you've completed the first Part A course. Thanks, Adam. Adam,
So we have another question. It's IELTS or PTE? I think this question is not clear. Are you asking about the language requirement? Darshana, could you please clarify your question? So we have another question. What is the language barrier before CAP program? I guess he is asking about the language requirement. Adam.
Yeah. So we obviously accept internationally qualified nurses who obtain a CAP letter that's been issued by Nursing Council of New Zealand. So Nursing Council of New Zealand have a requirement to pass an English requirements of 6.5, I believe, or is it 7? I think it's 6.5. It recently changed to 6.5.
6.5, correct.
Yeah, so any English language test that you do that may be an equivalent would need to be an equivalent to 6.5 in the IELTS. But for more information about your English requirements to become registered in New Zealand, I advise you have a look on the Nursing Council website. It's quite comprehensive information around what that looks like from a council perspective. Anything to add to that, Megan?
No, I think you've covered that really well, Adam. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we have another question, Adam, here. Is the GNM profile eligible for doing the CAP program?
Sorry, can you repeat
Sorry,
the question
yeah, could you
again,
repeat the
please?
question?
Question, whether a GNM profile, a GNM nurse is eligible to apply for the CAP program.
Is that a general, what's a GNM? Sorry?
Yeah, Megan, that is general nursing.
Yes.
Shall I take that question? Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
So Gaurav is asking about GNM is eligible. See, according to the Nursing Council of New Zealand, GNM, the BSc nursing and GNM nurses are eligible for the process, but purely the final decision it will from the Nursing Council, as Megan and Adam said. We need a decision letter, before you are enrolling for the CAP program. That is the criteria. What as a college we are having decision letter from New Zealand Nursing Council. Okay, so GNM with 1.5 years experience, or I could say like 1,800 working hours, will be eligible for this process. And PT or not PT, IELTS or OET. These are the two language criteria acceptable by New Zealand Nursing Council, not the PTE. I hope the question, I hope Gaurav, it is very clear with you. Thank you. Yeah, Megan, and there is another question, they are asking, when is the next intake? Because when will be the next intake of December is coming?
So
That's a question from
the
you.
question, the intake for them to
Next
come
intake.
to New Zealand to do the full 6-week course?
Yes, actually, it would be good if we can share. Already we share about other two options, like they can finish the theory from Kerala or any GCC countries according
Yes.
to the batches we are committing.
Yes.
That is one thing. So you can finish your theory from out of New Zealand, and once you complete your theory, After that, as per your, because we are giving a window of time that is like within 5 months, you should have to be here. So that is the timings we are providing for the theory,
Yes.
the practicals, right?
Yes,
Megan?
correct. Yes,
That's right.
correct.
Yeah, cool. So that may be the thing she was asking. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
was that question answered then, Christopher?
Yes, we
Okay,
did, Megan. We
perfect.
did well. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, there is another question. Hi, ma'am. My DL is expiring in February first week. Is it compulsory to attend the clinical placement before that, or can I attend it within May 2025?
Sorry, can I just clarify DI?
Yeah, the
Decision letter.
DL, the decision letter is going to be expired in
Right,
February
right.
first week. And is it compulsory to attend the clinical placement before that, or
Yeah,
can I attend? So
yeah.
we can take it in these two different ways. One is when they are attending the theory part with NZITE, her or his DL will be valid.
Mm,
After completing the theory, consider if the decision letter goes expired,
mm,
you know, mm,
mm.
yeah, what they will do. So
Sure.
whether yeah,
Sorry, Chris. Sorry.
so
Apologies.
over to you. Go ahead.
So my understanding would be, this would probably need to be clarified by council, if I'm to be completely honest. Again, it's more of a nursing council decision. My understanding is once the decision letter that's been provided by nursing council has expired, and if nursing council haven't received the completion of a CAP program from the candidate, then that decision letter would probably be expired. So I'm picking that it would need to be both the theory and practical component needing to be completed before your decision letter expires. However, for I mean, the main people that would be able to be making that decision would be nursing council. So I suggest you email them with your application number and clarify that particular point. But I have a bit of a feeling that you need to complete the totality of the course before the end expiry of your letter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Adam. And Megan, there is another question. Will you, it's something bit different, like, will you start online theory program for nurses who work outside Kerala? Because right now we are talking about Kerala and, other
Yes,
GCC countries. So
yes.
Miss Manju is
So,
asking, will you start online theory program? Yeah.
yeah, thanks, Mandri, for your question. So, as stated earlier, our program differs from others because we believe in the face-to-face classroom teaching. So unfortunately, at this stage, there won't be any online for NZITE. We believe that students learn best face to face, experiential learning, hands on. So that's why if you students are finding it a bit challenging to come to New Zealand, we decided why not come to you for 2 weeks. So we could have done it online, but we rather come to you. Thanks, Manju.
Thank you, Megan. I highly appreciated, as a person, see, I highly appreciated the initiative taken by NZIT, because we have options for, like, online. But the main thing, we don't want to lose the quality of education. That is one thing. And after completing this online, see, nurses are coming to New Zealand for the job or the clinical placements, whatever it is. But that makes a lot of difference. Like, they are finding very difficulty to communicate. That is one thing. And they are compromising their education. So that kind of difficulties, especially in this stage, New Zealand is facing. We had seen many newses and kind of news are coming around New Zealand. So this is a great initiative taken by NZITE, coming to your home country and teaching you all. So I hope it is very clear to all the nurses. Like, the theory part will be conducted. First part, will be conducted in Kerala, That is one batch we are going to conducted one batch there in Kerala. And also we are planning to conduct a theory part in other areas of the globe that step by step we will announce you the dates, time, and the location, everything. Yeah. If you have further any questions, please let us know. Yeah. Thank you. Is it Janet? Did she need to talk or how it is
Yeah,
like?
Janet needs to do her spiel, I think.
Yeah. Hi, Janet. Are you there?
Yeah, hi. I'm happy to see you all. I'm extremely
Hi,
happy.
hi.
Yeah.
We too
And
happy to see your smiling face. Yeah. How
thank
was
you.
your experience with NZIT? Not only with NZIT, throughout your journey. Could you please share your, um, success story? I could say the success story. Yes, to our
Yes,
nurses.
definitely. Yes, definitely. Um, First and foremost thing, I appreciate and Tutel team. They worked hard to make me to join in NSIT college, and which I selected there. And I was very happy to join with the NSIT team. And initially, what I felt, I was very scary, and I was not knowing anyone in New Zealand. And when I came to first day in the college, I felt very happy, happy faces, which make everybody feeling. I felt like it was my family. Likewise, took it as a challenge, and then I worked hard to study in the theory as well as when I went to the practicum, which is very far from Auckland city. There we also felt very hard to adjust with the climate and the accommodation. Finally, anyhow, we have come out from those situation. And during my clinical placement, it was a very wonderful days. Each and every day, I felt as a how I can say, it was a good days, and the staffs were very cooperative. Especially the CEO was very much supporting for us and encouraging. And yeah, everything was went well. Thanks to all of the team members. And finally, I got an offer letter from the Rodney Surgical Center. Definitely, I will join with them very shortly. Thank you, everyone, Tutel and NSIT team, especially Megan, Nathalie ma'am, and Adam, Rohit sir, and Rinsi, Agani, sorry, Aggie, and Christopher sir. Thank you, everyone. I miss Rimple as well. I forgot to tell. Thank you, everyone. I'm very happy. You all made me too proud, New Zealand nurse. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Thank you so much to listen and your, the kind words and your seeing your happiness. Actually, for me, I would like to say one word, like, as you mentioned, like about accommodation, because as per my understanding, Rohit is very best friend of mine, and I know him long back, professionally and personally. So one thing I know about him, like professionally, he's the best New Zealand immigration advisor. That is one thing. When I had a situation with your accommodation, I just had a chat with Rohit. Rohit, there is a situation like they need accommodation facilities, like because I'm from South India and we have a few communities, especially with Malayali communities here in New Zealand, different areas. But I find very difficulty to connect with our Malayali communities. But when I discussed about this situation, suddenly, I think within few minutes, Rohit arranged a accommodation that I know that like from an Indian community, but I mean later it moves. But I really wonder how he arranged that because his connections that makes him to arrange. I believe Rohit, not about immigration matters, but I just need
Yeah,
to thank you for this one.
So before being an advisor, I was also an international market manager. So I know student services and pastoral care are very important for international students. Keeping those experiences, we have connections with certain people in the market. So when we know the situation, whether a student is at airport or wherever it is, we know that the first time coming to New Zealand, students definitely what sort of situations they face. So yeah, we try best worked out, and yeah, we do keep for like moving forward. We do that same for all the students whoever comes, and thanks to you also because I know that everyone were busy with their own things. Our job is only particular thing taking care of the students and provide student services and visa services. So very happy to do that.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit. Rohit, yeah, one more thing. Actually, there are a few questions. Well, talking about New Zealand immigration updates, because there are a few changes, all updations are keep on coming. So what you would like to say about our nurses? Like there are two different areas. One is they are coming with a visiting visa. On the second thing, once they got a job offer, they are moving to work visa. Then later stages they are filing the PR. So as an New Zealand immigration advisor, what would you like to say to our international qualified nurses?
So right now across the world, New Zealand is the best place to do become a registered nurse, and it's straightforward. So you come here, do competency assessment program, or you got two ways asking competency. We are talking about CAP here. So you come here, do competency assessment program, complete the program, become get an APC, and be a registered nurse in New Zealand. So at NZITE, they provide their all the student services, like applicant all services to get a maximum. They will put efforts in getting a job, but there is no guarantee that NZITE takes a responsibility for the job. But to gain a job, what are the requirements for an applicant should have those capabilities and the practicing and whatnot to prepare you for an interview. NZITE supports the applicants. So if an applicant, say, suppose Janet got a job at Rodney Surgical Center. So what happened here is the employer has approached us. What sort of documentation or requirements need for Janet in order to secure the work visa and further. So we have explained them what she needs to be apply for a work visa and all. They're happy and they said that okay, we are done and we started the work and we will be supporting Janet. So once Janet gets a work visa, because it's even if it is a fixed term contract or a permanent contract, fixed term contract minimum 12 months or permanent contract, Janet is, because it is in tier 1 green list, the Immigration New Zealand divided the occupations into green list occupations and non-green list occupations. Green list occupations, they have tier 1, tier 2. In this nurse position, nurse job position is in tier 1. So tier 1 people, it is straight to residency. She got a job offer. It is a fixed term contract. If it is fixed term contract, minimum 12 months, straight away she can apply for her residency. If she has family, she can include her family members in the residency. It is a step-by-step process. You got a visitor visa, you come to New Zealand, complete the CAP, you got APC, and search for the jobs. If you got a job, apply for accredited employer work visa. You need to work for an accredited employer who can support you for the work visa. Upon successfully getting an accredited employer work visa, straight away they can apply for residence. So here the main thing is job. That's why people should not, we recommend the people who are coming to New Zealand do not leave their current job. Instead, that's why NZITE made a plan that students should not leave the job. Come here, do the clinical placements. And if you wish to stay in New Zealand and apply for the jobs, they will get 3 to 6 months of visitor visa. They can stay here and apply for the job. If not, they can go back and continue the jobs. Now, once the situation settles in New Zealand, because they become a registered nurse, and parallelly they can get Australia registrations. So once they get this rolling, once the job market is settled, they can apply for the jobs, and if they can get the jobs, they can become a registered nurse in New Zealand. Like they can work and settle in New Zealand. So only challenge right now is whether they are securing the jobs or not. So as I said, NZIT put equal effort, equal efforts on each student, each individual student. So like they are this is the one of the finest institute where they send the students to GP clinics also, like Jana. So what happens here is where other institutions do not send the students to those clinics. So this is very particular institute where a student has a chance, they can exhibit their skills, and that hospital or that clinic has vacancy, so they may get a job offer. So there is no guarantee, that no one is giving a guarantee of job offer, but for that reasons, in order to reduce the stress of the applicant, NZIT has to take a step to minimize the cost of the applicant, where instead they come here and do wait for 6 weeks program. They are coming to India and doing the theoretical part in India, then giving a what do you say, time for the applicant to choose in between January to May to come to New Zealand to do the clinical placement. So this is one part. Once the steps are visitor visa, work visa, residence visa. So in all aspects, whoever coming from shoot, we are here to give support. So any questions or any sort of visa support or anything, me and our team are happy to assist the applicants. And any questions you have, you can ask me. I can.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit. I think we covered with the visiting visas and the work visas as well. So you covered all the areas. Thank you, Rohit. And there is a question like, is there any job available here in New Zealand? There is one is Hannah Marin. I'm worried about that because my lot of friends have come back after the CAP course. Please tell me the actual situation. That is a question from Hannah Marin. So yeah.
Job market, see, immigration, always in any country, not only New Zealand, any country, there are ups and downs. So when the situation is across the globe, there is an inflation. Not only New Zealand, across the globe there is inflation. So you want to become a registered nurse, okay? And NZIT being an institution, what all required for an applicant to be successful in the job market, they are providing that to the applicant. So we cannot take the guarantee of the job because you don't know my skills, and we cannot tell to everyone that we can, without knowing the skills of the person or their experiences, we cannot guarantee anything to the applicant. So right now we are in a situation that yes, many of the applicants who are completed the CAP course are going back, but there are some success stories as well where applicants are getting jobs. But I don't deny the fact that people are going back to home country after completing the CAP course. That's why the duration of the CAP course has been reduced, as well as giving them an opportunity to utilize their time, like according to their time. They are giving like 4 months of time to do the clinical placement whenever they want to do it. And maybe in future, if the job market in live, like when the job freeze has gone and the jobs are coming up, so they can utilize the time and come to New Zealand and do the clinical placements too. And this is the program. This is only one-off. Like we don't do this continuously. This is a one-off program where 2 weeks in India and 4 weeks in New Zealand, clinical placement in New Zealand with a scholarship. So this is particular one-off. And if a 6 weeks program, when they are coming to New Zealand to do 6 weeks program, the applicant has to pay full fees. This is only one-off program where the student can avail the scholarships. So in order to reduce the burden of the applicant, NZITE has come forward to with the scholarship program, and this is only given opportunity to Tutel. So definitely other agencies where they were asking us, but because Tutel being a very committed agency for NZITE, so they were given this opportunity.
Yep, thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much for that privilege. Yeah, actually, we have one more question. Like that is, I think I can taking over that. I'm a clinical instructor nursing with an experience in clinical teaching. So am I eligible for the CAP and same profile job in New Zealand? Hi. So the question by Dina. Hi, Dina. Thank you for joining. You see, the question is like, well, as per my understanding, see when you have to meet the eligibility criteria of New Zealand Nursing Council registration process. Okay, the first one is, of course, you are academic. Second one is your experience, and the third one, your language requirements. So when it comes to your experience, as you mentioned, like you are a clinical instructor, and before giving a final, answer for this, we would like to see your profile, how long you've been as a clinical instructor. Do you have any other kind of experience in clinical settings? So it will be great. I can give you a contact number of our counseling team. You can connect with our team after this webinar, so they can give you an idea whether you are eligible for starting your New Zealand Nursing Council registration process. I hope it is clear. Thank you. And Rohit, there is another question from Shalini. She's asking like, hi, could you give details on fee structure with the installment options? Thank you.
So there are two installments. First installment, well, they need to pay when they register for this program. That is theory part. And upon completion of the theory, when they're applying for the visa or a visa, they need to pay the second part fees. That is clinical placement fees. So first part, before the start of the program, they need to pay theoretical classes. That is $2,000. This is $3,000 scholarship. So $2,000 they need to pay beginning of the program start. And upon completion of that, if they choose to join January intake, they need to pay the rest of the amount and apply for the visa.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much. So what do you think, Rohit? Do we need to cover anything? So we discussed about the CAP theory part where we are going to deliver. That is one thing. And the fee structure, we mentioned the duration, like, theory and the practical durations, everything we mentioned. Did we miss anything? Or if anybody have any kind of questions, we'll be here for under 5 more minutes. So you can shoot your questions. We are happy to answer that. Rohit, do you want to share anything?
There's we were like our clinical tutors, instructors from NZITE are coming to New Zealand and delivering in-person theoretical classes for 2 weeks. So whatever the questions they have, they can discuss in person. That makes a huge difference between an online class and theoretical class. And also they can engage with local Kiwi person, where having more experience than just doing an online Moodle question and answers. So these will give you a brief understanding of the program, and upon completion of CAP, the applicant can gain more knowledge and maybe could very successful in the end of the course.
Okay, thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think it is very clear. There is one more question, Rohit. In our nurses WhatsApp group, some messages shows that the New Zealand Nursing Council informed to stop taking nurses from India. Is it real?
No. Janet is from which country?
Yeah.
I'm from
Yeah, she's
India.
yeah. Actually, see, there are kind of so many WhatsApp groups are there. So my and our team suggestion, especially from the panelists who all are here, go through a genuine source. That is like you have the website for New Zealand Nursing Council. Okay, so there is a website for New Zealand Nursing Council. You can check with that. Okay, whether any kind of update. And see, there is no kind of stopping or anything. Even now, apart from the CAP, the OSCE is running. Still, New Zealand is welcoming our international qualified nurses, especially from India. Not only from India, in throughout the globe. So that's why we have a success story you had here from Janet. So my suggestion, better you leave that WhatsApp group for your betterment. That's what I could have to say. Thank you. Okay, so there's another question. I started my process by this month, so probably when did I want to take my theory class? Kishore, it is purely depends upon case by cases, how according to your documents, your process, it may vary. Okay, it may take another 5 months, as per my knowledge. Yeah, but purely depends upon case by cases. Thank you. So any other questions, please, you can, discuss with our panelists.
Christopher,
Hi.
looks like
Yes, please.
Harsha has asked a question
Yeah.
Oh,
just
sorry.
before there.
Yeah. Thank you, Megan, for noticing me. Okay, the question is, after theory course, we can select clinical placement date, or they are providing the dates? That's a good question. Hi, Harsha. It's a good question. Megan, could you please answer that? Like whether they can choose the date.
Yep. No, I think I can pick that one up.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
okay, no problem. So the answer is yes to both your questions, really. We'll be providing dates for when our clinical placement blocks start, and you can select those dates once you've completed your theory component. So those dates will be made available, and it's a question of which date suits you. Once you've got paperwork in order, just like Rohit's been describing, we'll provide those dates that you can select from, and it's a case of you selecting the date that's most convenient for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Adam. So I hope everything is clear with all our nurses. And in our chat box, we are mentioning, the contact details as well. So further, if you want to contact us, you can contact through our website, WhatsApp, mobile, or, any of our social media platforms as well. So we are so excited to, see you all here, especially with our Kerala theory classes. So dates and everything we will, we would like to share within a couple of days once the enrollments are finished. But we can give an idea about that, Rohit.
Yeah.
Regarding
Sorry?
the date. Regarding
dates.
the theory dates.
2nd December to 14th December.
Perfect. So coming the next month, from next month onwards, the classes will start from 2nd December to 14th December. So without waiting, you can enroll. So as per my experience, I would have to say there are a lot of concerns about job and everything. But see, of course, still Janet is an example. Still, nurses are getting job, but not like previous. That is That is my honest word. Previously, consider if 10 nurses are coming, 10 of them are getting. But now there is a filtration, like according to your experience, your communications, and everything. And from NZITE, it's not like any other CAP provider. They are purely supporting our nurses for placing, or getting a job. But it is not like we are 100% guaranteeing or anything. But of course, according to your communications, according to your experience, of course, our support will be there. And somebody is raising the hand. Hi, Rincy. Is that you?
Yes, it's me. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
you would
say,
like. Yes,
yeah,
please, Rincy. Yes,
I
sorry.
was
Yes.
just noting down some points, and I just wanted to say
Good.
something. So first, as somebody asked about the job, right?
Yes, please.
So, even though there's nothing
Yes.
official, Nursing Council and everybody has confirmed that there are job vacancies. New Zealand is still facing shortage for registered nurses. One of the main reason why nobody is getting hired or there's a job freezing in place is because of the quality of the cap. So the communication skills they have, or if there are so many people asking if NZIT can offer online classes for theory. So that is one of the main reasons why there's a job freezing, because the communication, it's very difficult for people who are overseas. Like me, I have come to New Zealand as an international student, right? So for us, when we come to New Zealand, the accent is different. It's very difficult to catch up. And if you just do your theory online and then you just come here for your cohort or your exam, it's very difficult to catch up. And when you go to your work, if somebody hires you and you go to a job, and if you cannot communicate, as an employer, you would understand. Would you hire somebody who cannot communicate, especially if you're in an English speaking country? So that is one of the reasons. And that's where NZITE is excelling, because they are even they could have easily chosen the option to do online theory. Instead, they've decided to come to the students, even if it's in Kerala or the GCC countries, and they are willing to offer the theory in person. So that gives enough communication. It's a two-way communication. If you do theory online, it's just one way. You can do your theory anytime. But in person, it's a two-way communication, you know? And the placements, you can, once you do the theory, you can come to New Zealand and do your placements. And that's about the job I wanted to say. It's not really that we don't have jobs in New Zealand. It's one of the main reason is the quality of CAP. And the second thing I've noted down is the registration. I need Megan's clarification on this one, but I think the nursing registration is valid for 5 years. Once you finish the CAP, you get the nursing registration and it is valid for 5 years. And you can also apply for Australian registration. And within this 5 years time frame, from anywhere, like you can be in any part of the world, but you can keep applying for job. And as soon as you get your job, you can apply for work visa and you can travel to New Zealand. So really, it's not a waste of your effort, because you've done so much process. You've done your CGFNS, you've done your nursing council, you've invested so much time and money to get your decision letter. So why not finish the CAP? And then even if it takes a little while to get the job, I would highly recommend, if I was in a situation where I have the decision letter, I would finish the CAP and be patient or wait until I get my job offer.
That's great, Rincy.
Yeah. And just one more suggestion, because if we are doing theory offshore, and then if you have to come to placement, if you have to come to New Zealand for placement, it's just a suggestion. Everybody will have different opinions. But I'm just thinking, if you're doing part one overseas, if you're willing to pay for part two, you can apply for the visa straight away. And as soon as you finish your CAP, I mean, if you want to do your placement straight away, as soon as you finish your theory, you would have your visa approved. So you can travel, you know, whenever you want. You don't have to wait for visa approval to make plans to travel.
That's good. Thank you, Rincy. Rincy, you covered most of the things, and we are extending our, very good service to the international qualified nurses by providing, CAP course theory delivering at Kerala and different part of the globe. Okay, so what is the positive? Like, see, we already covered so many things, but I think you can share a few benefits for, coming to, because there are a lot of providers out there. So why, as a international qualified nurse holding a decision letter, why they want to come to us? Like, what all are the positive sides? Because you already cover a few things, so I just need to, in a nutshell, could you please mention that one as well?
Yeah, so basically, I'm from Kerala. So most of the nurses who come here for CAP are from Kerala. We are all based in Kerala, you know. So when you convert Indian rupees to New Zealand dollars, it's huge. So money is always a number one factor for all of these nurses when they decide on which institution to join. Money is a big factor for them, so they calculate, okay, this is cheaper, so let me go there. So that situation is long gone, because at that time CAP was not so popular. People were not coming. There were not many nurses coming here to do CAP. So anybody who finishes CAP gets job offers straight away. Now the situation has changed. There's a lot of students coming to do CAP, and so many registered nurses are coming out, finishing CAP. So now they've got the choice to choose good quality, good candidates from this pool. So that's where I would say the NZIT's advantage is that, because I mean, for sure, you guys will have so many information, so many people will be communicating and giving you the feedback. But from the little knowledge I have, so many people, when people contact me, they say, you know, they cannot reach out to somebody if they are finding it difficult to communicate, or if they have any concerns. Um, but whereas for NZITE, every student who's graduated in the last July batch and August batch, everybody had the same opinion about the NZITE staff, be it Megan or Natalie or anybody, Adam, their admin staff, their teaching staff, everybody, they're always available. I've we've been to graduation together for our August intake candidates, right? So you saw how happy everybody was. You wouldn't say they
Makes
were
sense.
nurses who came from overseas. They've been just here for 2 months, so they were more friendly to the NZIT staff than us who did, their entire paperwork. So we've spent more time preparing. I mean, for example, Tutel would have spent even longer period of time with the candidates from CGFNS to Nursing Council and all of that. But when we went there, they were so much more friendlier with the NZIT team, because that's the support they provide, and I don't think any other college, because we've got so many different schools doing CAP, and I don't think any other college actually puts any effort in finding a job or doing any of
Yeah,
this workshops. That was a unique
that's true.
that was a unique plan NZIT has come up with, because you've seen the CVs. Our CVs in India is completely different to the CVs what we circulate here in New Zealand. So NZIT goes out of their way. They do workshops to make sure that the students who come through NZIT knows what to expect, what to give out. So that's unique.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were witness for that event, so I know anyhow. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. So, anything do we need to add on? Janet, do you want to say anything more?
Um, I'm just giving the suggestions to the students, those who are upcoming students for
Good.
CAP. Try not to worry. NSIT team is very approachable at any time. They are very encouraging, and the teaching session also very easy to understand. And the 2 weeks classes is very interesting, and you'll have a 2 sessions of exams like direct calculation and theory exam. That will be much easy. Try not to worry. It is what we know, what we studied from our colleges, the same thing. Just focus what they are telling, what they are instructing. Just keep an eye on them. And following 5 weeks of practicum, there also show your eligibility and whatever you have experience, you can utilize that. Try to speak slowly and clearly to the English people, and they are very good. Don't worry. Don't. I can say only thing this. Yeah.
And thank you, Janet, for your genuine feedback from your heart. You said it. Thank you so much. Okay. Anyone from our
Thank you.
panelists, you want to say anything before we are winding up this webinar?
Christopher, I think there's one hand up. Rajit Rajan.
Yeah, 1 second. Sorry.
2 hands up.
Hi, Rajit. Yeah, hi, Rajit. Oh, okay. I think no hands. Okay, cool. So anyone need to share anything? So we are winding up this webinar. Before that, any questions or anything? It's a great opportunity to clear your doubts. Hi, Aggie. Okay, so the next part is your enrollment. Already we got few enrollments as done. So as enter the panelists and all the team from the NZITE as mentioned, the program is going to be start from next month, December 4 till December 14th. So the educators and other program coordinators will be there on Kerala. The locations and everything we will be sharing within a few days. Okay, so you all are more welcome, and as many of them are mentioned, it is of course save your money, that is one thing, and getting you a quality education, and the end product, that is a very in this stage people are saying getting a job is very difficult, but the complete support if we are getting from a college or a CAP provider, that will be great. So make use of it. Of course, you will be the next success story teller when we coming for another webinar. That I would like to point out. Okay, because it is not like any kind of just it's not a just word, because it's a reality. Because I saw with my eyes, we have only Janet is here, but there are so many candidates, happy faces, not only happy faces, happy families. I could say that one. Okay, so you all are more welcome to NZITE, and I'm very sure they will taking care of you in a better way. So thank you everyone, especially for our panelists who are joined, and the participants. I'm thanking from my heart, and on behalf of my team as well. Hi Aggie, you want to say anything?
Yes, so thank you so much to all panelists. It was really a detailed, informative session. I hope our
Yeah, before
candidates
that,
are
Aggie, one more word actually, I would like to say, because you are the one who put lot of effort to make this webinar successful. Because see, it's all about teamwork, I know, but your efforts are really appreciable. You connected with our candidates. We have nearly 400 plus candidates. I know how difficult it to connect with everyone.
Christopher,
And also you done some
sorry to
marketing. Yes.
disturb you. This is a
Yes,
limited
please.
seat program for this particular.
Yeah.
So even if you bring 400 people, we can't fit in. So it's on first class. So
They are in a different level. No,
only
thank you,
limited
Rohit,
seats.
for cracking that. Yeah, they are in a different stages like CGFNS and all. So she was connecting with each and every candidate without missing, and making sure, like, both the team and the candidates are in the same page. So yeah, I'm so thankful to you, Aggie. Yes, Aggie. Yeah, Megan,
Yeah.
you want to say hi, Megan?
Yes, I just
Megan
want to
wants to say
say,
something. Hi.
I firstly just want to thank everyone for joining us on this webinar. I do appreciate everyone on the panel, as well as potentially future students for NZIT. I would urge you, to take notes of what everyone has said. We have Janet. Janet, thank you for joining us. I didn't know you were actually coming online, but thank you for making time to share your story, because I think it's really important to hear from a student who's actually gone through the process. And I just want to say thank you to everyone, and we look forward to hopefully getting your applications through and meeting you for an interview shortly, and then hopefully in Kerala or the GCC countries next month.
Thank you,
you.
Megan.
Thank
I just
you.
wanted to say thank you to Megan, because it was such a short notice, but still she prepared everything. And, she's prepared a PowerPoint presentation for all the candidates. So that's really, I really appreciate both Megan and Adam, coming up with the presentation and explaining everything. So, and also I wanted to inform Megan that I did also talk to GB Mall. She was also supposed to join, but she's traveling and she is in Malaysian airport in transit, and the network is not very good. That's why she tried joining multiple times, but she couldn't.
No problem. Thanks, Rincy, for that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Aggie, for organizing this
Thank you.
webinar.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Christopher,
Thank you so much.
look forward to working
Yeah,
with you.
thank you.
Thank you.
With pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Megan. Thank you, Megan and Adam. I had for thanks from our whole Tutel team. We are really privileged to have you here to join with the webinar. And thank you, Rohit and Rincy, for all the support extended. So, to all the candidates, like if you have any further inquiries regarding this particular exclusive batch, feel free to connect our team. We have already given our number in the chat box. So, our team will guide you with the admission and further processing. So have a good day to all. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Janet, too. Good luck.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
Thank you,
soon,
you.
Janet.
Janet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will come
Thank
and
you,
meet you
everyone. Thank you.
shortly. Thank you. Bye bye.
You will see you.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas to all.
Have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you. See you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.